Some goal line stands by the Ohio State defense spell the difference between victory and defeat. Both ranked in the top 10, Michigan and Ohio State tied for the conference championship. But the Buckeyes, by virtue of their 14-11 upset, went on to the Rose Bowl. Pasadena, California, the goal of every Big Ten player, the city of celluloid and celebrities, and the site of the most prestigious of all the bowls. Ohio State, after an inspired first half, fell before the hometown hero and the national champion, Southern California. But it was a long way between the beginning of September, the start of the season, and that final day on November the 25th. Along the way, some exciting moments, and we'd like you to join us for them right now. It was a topsy-turvy football season throughout the conference, with new trends and different styles dominating the scene. One such trend surfaced on the opening weekend of the year when Minnesota quarterback Bob Morgan rushed for 127 yards. This was one of the 3 days in which Morgan exceeded the 100-yard mark. It used to be that quarterbacks weren't supposed to run, but no one told Michigan State's Mark Neeson. He scored twice against Purdue on runs of 61 and 57 yards. Michigan made the most of the moves of its outstanding sophomore quarterback, Dennis Franklin. Greg Hare, a junior, contributed far more than 3 yards in a cloud of dust to the Ohio State attack. Purdue's Gary Danielson had the most productive day of any Big Ten quarterback when he rushed for 213 yards against Washington. While the quarterbacks enjoyed good fortune afoot, one might conclude that they ran out of fear. For when the defense had its day, the quarterback was the first one to know it. Combine a strong rush with sophisticated defense, and the passer's problems are compounded. When receivers were open, they found success painful. The development of the zone defense had more to do with the frustration of the passer than any other factor. Swift, mobile defenders such as Randy Logan gave Michigan the most effective pass defense in the conference. The Indiana secondary, featuring veteran Mark Finley and multi-talented freshman Quinn Buckner, permitted the fewest completions in the Big Ten. Michigan State's Paul Hainer was the top interceptor with 5. Tied for second was his Spartan teammate Bill Simpson. The long bomb, while not totally deactivated, had seen its power diminished. Now, in lieu of the big strike, quarterbacks began to probe with short but sure passes. Northwestern's Mitch Anderson was only a sophomore, but he led the Big Ten in passing. Jim Lash, number 86, was Anderson's main target. Anderson and Lash shattered 2 Big Ten passing records. Quarterback Mike Wells of Illinois made all Big Ten. Michigan's Dennis Franklin completed 50% of his passes, many to number 15 Bo Rather. Wisconsin's Rudy Steiner and Jeff Mack mystified opponents with their aerial artistry. Greg Hare passed more frequently than most Ohio State quarterbacks. Brian Baschnagel, a freshman, and junior tight end Ted Powell will return in 1973. Gary Danielson relied more on the ground game at Purdue. When the pass was necessary, Darrell Stingley and junior split end Dan Roman were gifted receivers. An injury cut short the season for Indiana's quarterback Ted McNulty, but few defenses were able to cut down the Hoosiers' all-purpose halfback Ken Starlin. Indiana had the top receiver in the Big Ten in number 87, Glenn Skolnick, who caught 36 passes. Iowa's Bobby Owsley and Brian Rollins were both among the leaders, and both are returning. While coaches strive to attain perfection in their players, all of the X's and O's in the world cannot eliminate the fumble. The loose football, more than any other happening, elicits more response from more people than any play in football. As the father of football, Amos Alonzo Stagg, once observed, the football is the only ball not round, and because of its shape, funny things can happen. In this age of special awards, we include now football's spectaculars, and these were the winners for 1972. Longest kickoff return with a lateral, Illinois. Lonnie Perrin, the thrower. Blocking by number 80, Tom Mullen. Receiver and runner, George Uremovich. Total distance, 97 yards. Longest punt, under extreme duress, Bill Simpson, Michigan State. From the point of the punt, 71 yards and out of bounds in the coffin corner. Longest halfback option pass, Lonnie Perrin of Illinois, 60 yards to Joe Lewis. Longest screen pass, Michigan State. Passer George Mihai. Legman Arnold Morgado. Blocker Damon Mays. Distance, 67 yards. Longest run on a reverse for a touchdown. Michigan sophomore Gil Chapman, 58 yards. Best blocked punt, Jim Cope, Ohio State. Best fumble recovery in end zone by defense, Mark Zakula, Wisconsin's sophomore linebacker. Best fumble recovery in end zone by offense, Joe DeLamielleure, Michigan State. Best fumble recovery in midair, Steve Niels, Minnesota. Most sustained display of emotion following an intercepted pass, Jerry Johnson, Indiana. Wildest display of emotion following a game-winning field goal. The envelope, please. Tom Slade of Michigan and the entire Wolverine squad. In 1972, on average attendance, Big Ten football was the nation's top spectator sport. Conference games were seen by an average of 58,980 fans per game, the highest anywhere. Ohio State, which led the nation in attendance for 14 consecutive seasons, lost the crown to Michigan. This year, more than 4 million fans watched Big Ten football. Lured by the promise of the big play, the faithful were rewarded by such game breakers as Michigan's Gil Chapman. Chapman and a host of talented sophomores helped Bo Schembechler win Coach of the Year in the Big Ten. Michigan State's Bill Simpson won all Big Ten laurels as a defensive back, but defense was only part of his act. Simpson also led the conference in punt returns. Otis Armstrong, Purdue's All-American halfback, specialized in cross-country runs. His 97-yard kickoff return against Minnesota was unsurpassed as the longest scoring play of the season. The field goal was very much in fashion in the Big Ten, with two foreign-born sidewinders leading the way. Indiana's Chris Gartner came from Sweden. Michigan State's Dirk Kritsch was from Holland. Both set a conference record by kicking 4 field goals in one game. Gartner set another record with 11 field goals for the season.
Are won and lost by the team which controls the line of scrimmage. Today, you'll see and hear the Battle of No Man's Land, starring number 70, George Hasenarl, Ohio State's All-American tackle.
All right, let's go with 50. Set, hit, boom! Good job. Pete, stay down here with the tackles now. Come on, sit. Keep your bench, Jeff. Sonny, you ought to be up there with the halfbacks. They're doing a lot of this reaching thing. I think we can, like on that sweep and stuff, going back into the boundary side there.
See a trap?
Yeah. Get our arms on him and let's send the troops coming. Just punish the hell out of him. Set, hit, move! Set, hit.
Bye. How do you feel?
Because on the reach, sometimes you're going to have to duck back inside, even though that's not the way we usually do it. You're going to have to do it against these guys some. Because he's looking for daylight. He's got the ball, he's looking for daylight. So, you know, so you got to be, as soon as you read the block, you got to find the ball. Find the ball. Put that wing down in there, fire that wing down like he's going to crack back, and then he'll release out, and then get him fighting out, and then kicking him out with the guard. Way to get it! Way to grab! Way to grab, guy!
We're all just standing back there, you know, with their mouths open. No one's reacting. No one's grappling. Now you, I saw you a couple times.
Yeah, I'm getting screwed up.
We're not, as a team, we're not doing it.
Set, hit! Set, hit!
The players who perform in the pit seldom enjoy the limelight. We hope today's feature has given you a better insight into the pick and shovel workers who are the backbone of the game.
The defenders. They labor in relative obscurity. Their reward is in knowing that they determine who wins or loses. Dave Butts, number 62, won All-American honors at Purdue for his aggressive play against the run and the pass. Butts was one reason Purdue led the conference in rushing defense. Number 97, Steve Baumgartner, all Big Ten end, was another. Number 78, Tyrone Dye, has 3 more seasons at Iowa. The defensive tradition has always been strong at Ohio State. And Randy Gradishar, number 53, was another in a long line of Buckeyes to capture All-American acclaim. At Wisconsin, linebacker Rick Jakius, number 34, learned the hard way. This submarining style of defense by Michigan's Wolfman Randy Logan made fumbles happen. Number 10, Brad Van Pelt, was a 9-letter winner at Michigan State. He was an All-American and recipient of the Maxwell Award as the nation's outstanding player. Against Iowa, Wisconsin lent credence to the football axiom, defense wins games. In 1972, football returned to fundamentals. It was again a game of basics. It was a matter of blocking and hitting. It was the year of the running back.
1, 3, 5, 7. Switch up and take it down, leg and stretch. Bring it back and hold it. Great day, let's go. Great day to home, let's go. Up, pick it up, here we go. Come on, what do you say?
When Minnesota, under new coach Cal Stahl, mastered the intricacies of the Veer T offense, the Gophers moved the ball with abandon. John King was second in the conference in rushing and third in scoring. He broke the rushing record of Gopher athletic director Paul Giel. Doug Beaudoin was one of some 50 freshmen to play in the Big Ten. He gained more yardage than any other freshman. Minnesota topped the Big Ten in rushing, averaging 280 yards per game. In Duffy Doherty's farewell season, Michigan State upset Purdue and Ohio State on successive weekends. And they did it with a strong running game. David E. Brown, who returns next year, was the Spartans' big gun. Super fullbacks are synonymous with Ohio State. And in Harold Champ Henson, a sophomore, Woody Hayes had another one. Henson was third in the conference in rushing and first in the nation in scoring with 20 touchdowns. same backfield was freshman Archie Griffin, who raced through North Carolina for 239 yards, an Ohio State record. Michigan had a battery of running backs. Sophomore Chuck Heater was its most productive runner. Junior fullback Ed Shuttlesworth missed 2 games with an injury, but when healthy, he was devastating. Blocking by number 77, All-American tackle Paul Seymour was a key to the Wolverines' ground power. Junior George Uremovich led the Fighting Illini rushers. He returns in 73 along with versatile halfback Lonnie Perrin, who averaged 5 yards per carry. Rufus Ferguson broke the single-season rushing record of Alan Amici at Wisconsin. Roadrunner's flamboyant style drew an average of 70,000 loyalists to Madison. But the feature that Badger fans will miss the most is his renowned Rufus Shuffle. Waiting in the wings at Wisconsin was sophomore tailback Tony Davis, whose 73-yard run against Iowa was the second longest of the season. Ken Starling finished 6th in the conference in rushing, and a brilliant season is forecast for the Chattanooga Choo-Choo next year. Northwestern's top rusher was freshman fullback Greg Boykin. These men have made their mark in the Big Ten. Players and coaches alike have been tested in a crucible of fierce competition. They've experienced both victory and defeat, and they are better men for it. From the ranks of the players, one man stood above the rest. He was Otis Armstrong of Purdue. Armstrong was the Big Ten's most valuable player. In the year of the runner, Otis Armstrong eclipsed the rushing records of all of the Big Ten's legendary heroes: Grange, Nagurski, Kinnick, Harmon, Cassidy, Amici. Otis Armstrong became the Big Ten's all-time ground gainer. An All-American halfback, Otis Armstrong provided a giant share of the big moments in the Big Ten. Big Moments in the Big Ten has been presented by Kmart. All the things a great store should be.